Dr. Sheila Murray Bethel.
3 questions. Am I a value-added person? Was this a value-added transaction? Are we a value-added organization? New, different, better, fast, and more. It's the only way you can do it to increase that added value, that customer service. Now, when we want to focus on our priorities, we want to produce excellent results. So we have to figure out what it is we're doing, how well we do it, what needs improvement, how can we get better, what processes can we use, what procedures, what attitudes, what aptitudes, what philosophies. We're forgetting that one of the nicest things that Jules can say to me is, "Thanks, Sheila," or something. "You're welcome." And you know, it doesn't have to be a big deal. It just can be a hand on the shoulder. "Hey, Reggie, I'm really proud you're with us in this store. You made that customer feel really good. Even if you didn't sell the bed right at that time, hey, they may be back. But from what you did, we're going to get referrals because you were really good today." It is called the ability to build partnerships, networks, and alliances. That is the thing that will make you individually and collectively successful in this 21st century.
One of America's finest business speakers. One of America's sharpest business minds. Dr. Sheila Murray Bethel. Business savvy, people smart. With a PhD in communications, she has authored 4 books, including the national bestseller, Making a Difference, 12 Qualities That Make You a Leader. Inducted into the Speakers Hall of Fame and named one of the 21 top speakers for the 21st century by Successful Meetings magazine, Dr. Bethel is an expert on leadership, customer focus, and communication skills.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be with you. They're going to turn the house lights up so I can see you, and I know you can see me. I'm glad to see so many people on a beautiful afternoon. Thank you for coming. And you're still wide awake and ready to go. You obviously don't have the problem that the mother had when she went in to wake up her daughter to go to school. She says, "Come on, sweetheart, time to get up and go to school." The daughter says, "But I don't want to go." And the mother says, "Get up, you're going to be late." And the daughter says, "Give me 2 reasons why." And the mother said, "For heaven's sakes, you're 46 years old and you're the principal." So in our short time that we have together today, I'd like to share with you some ideas that I have learned around the world, working with leaders in all walks of life, things I've experienced in my own life, trying to lead organizations. And there are some principles, some ideas to share. And I, too, would like to start out by congratulating the new recipients. In our profession of speaking and training, we have an important designation that we work very hard at. And I know that you folks that have done this have put in many, many hours. And as Marcia said, the spouses and helpers also deserve the acknowledgement. So I'm delighted and honored to be here in this particular part of your program. Today, in the world in which we live, when we look at leadership, you know, we lead at home, we lead in the community, we lead at work. Leadership is not just for the highest educated, the people with the highest title, the richest or the most famous. It is for everyone. Everyone can make a difference through their leadership. And that's the good news about it. It's a very exciting thing to do, to say, by gosh, I'm going to pick up the mantle of leadership and give it a try. I'd like to give you the 3 drivers, the leadership drivers for the 21st century that I have seen as I travel around the world. And if you happen to be note takers and have a piece of paper and want to take some notes, let me give you some ideas to take back and to share with those who are not here. Driver number 1, of course, we all know it. We live with it every single day. Driver number 1 is called change. We live in an era of incredible change, unprecedented change. We have never, ever, as a society and as a world, gone through so much change as those of us that are here today have recently. You know, if you think about it, you and I together, we have gone through more change in this last year than our parents did in 10 years. What an incredible time to be alive. How many know and feel that you've gone through business change in the last year? Raise your hand. Silly question, isn't it? How about 6 months? 2 months? 2 weeks? 20 minutes? Have you called? Is the office still there? Change, we live with it every day. We know there's change in business. But there's also been change in our personal lives. You know, we had a national census here in the United States recently, and I saw a little clipping in the newspaper that talked about it. It said, in the most recent national census, it counted 1 million more women than men who are separated from their spouses. And it went on to say, well, that's either a mistake or there are about 1 million men who haven't yet noticed that their wives have left. I don't want to touch that. I don't know what that means about the men or the women. I just know that we have gone through so much change. I do want to give you a good piece of news about change, though, because I know it might be appropriate for a good news statement. You know what? The world is changing so fast, ladies and gentlemen, you can't even stay wrong for too long anymore. Just hang in, you'll probably be right next month. It is changing that fast. Driver number one, it is pushing us, it is pulling us. Change every time we turn around. No wonder we sometimes feel a little overwhelmed by it. It's okay. We're all in the same boat. Change is a hard thing to handle, but it is the number one driver, and the leader leading at home, in the community, at work, has to understand how hard it is for people to change. Be a little patient, a little kind, cut people a little slack, and as the teenagers say, chill out. Relax a little more. Driver number two, Marcia mentioned it, and I want to share it with you. You already know it. It is called the ability to build partnerships, networks, and alliances. That is the thing that will make you individually and collectively successful in this 21st century. Why? Because there's not enough time anymore to learn everything we have to know on our own. We have to be able to call somebody across the office, across town, across the city, across the state, across the country, around the world, and say, hey, I've got this issue. Can you give me a hand? Can you help? We want to network, and we want to build those powerful alliances. Third driver, change is first. Networking, partnership, and alliances is two. And three is understanding the difference between customer service and customer focus. And I'm going to talk more about that as I go on. But those are the three drivers, and that's what a leader has to be aware of. Watch the trends. Watch what happens. Keep your antenna out. Keep your ears open. Keep a pad and pencil near you at all times so you can stay on top of it and capture those ideas that help you be a more effective leader. And when it comes to leadership, the number one word, Marcia also mentioned that. I was so glad she said it, because the main word to start with today is the word called commitment. Commitment's the key. It helps us in the tough times. It makes it easier in the good times. Commitment is the glue that holds it all together. It's the fire in the belly. To be a leader who makes a difference, commitment is what it takes. You know the old story about the chicken and the pig walking down the country road early in the morning, time to have something to eat. And they pass an old-fashioned eatery, and the sign says breakfast, bacon and eggs, $1.79. And the chicken gets all puffed up and says, well, would you look at that? What would breakfast be without my contribution? The pig said, it's okay for you, it's a contribution. For me, it's total commitment. That's a good one to bring into the 21st century, because I do believe that in this age, our commitment makes the difference. So let me give you the 4 F's that I think will make excellent leaders, that help you in your personal life, in your business life, and in the community leadership that you're involved with. The 4 F's of excellent leadership in the 21st century. First, number 1 is flexible. That's change. Being able to turn on a dime, go in a new direction tomorrow. That ability of a leader to be able to throw it away and start again if it's wrong. Take a new idea from the bottom and help build it up by empowering others to share and to grow together. That flexibility of not getting stuck in how it used to be done, how we used to do it, how we've always done it. That doesn't work anymore. We have to be flexible. In my 50-plus years on this planet, I've gone through a lot of change in my life. I've gone from poverty and lack to abundance and great comfort. I've gone from death's door, serious illness, to health and vitality. I've gone from broken relationships and dreams to happiness and lifetime goals. And I have gone from that bitterness of failure to that sweetness of success. And I have learned from others, and I have found out through my own gifts that God's given me in these times of challenge is one thing, under change, under flexibility, is this. Ladies and gentlemen, we must always expect to succeed. Expecting to succeed. Say yes. Come on, team. Get together. We'll do it. Come on. Husband, wife, child, mother, father, friend. Come on. Let's pull together. We'll make it work. This is a tough time, but we'll do it together. And in the good times saying, yes, let's keep it going, expecting to succeed. I don't know about you, but children in our area where we live in the San Francisco Bay Area, they still sell lemonade and cookies in the summertime out in the front of their house. And I love to watch these little entrepreneurs. I always buy. I want to encourage them. And this summer, I went out in front and I saw my little neighbor kids. They were selling cookies and lemonade. And I don't know about you, but inflation has hit. Cookies are now 50 cents, and a little thing of lemonade is $1. But I bought anyway. Well, here, example about expecting to succeed. A little girl goes out in front of her house. And those of you who may have been in sales and are in sales and have heard this, but it's a good idea. It's a good kernel of truth. Little girl goes out in front of her house. She's got a sign on the front of a table. And there she stands, cheeks a scrub, bows in her hair, cute little dress. And she's standing there. And on that sign it says, dog for sale, $1,000. The trouble is, sitting on top of the table is the ugliest dog you have ever seen. There she stands with great expectation, though, and the man who lives next door backs out of his driveway, and he sees that sweet little girl standing there with great expectation, and he doesn't want her to be hurt by the world of sales called rejection. So he goes over and he said, sweetheart, he said, honey, do you think maybe you could lower the price a little bit? Because that's a lot of money. Or, sweetheart, could you get another dog? Because, honey, that's a really ugly dog. She looks at him and she says, somebody will buy. He said, okay. He's not going to argue with an 8-year-old. He goes off to work, comes home that night, and across the front of that sign in big red letters is the word yes. He goes up to the door. He knocks at the door. She comes out. He said, sweetheart, you sold that dog? She said, I did. He said, you got $1,000? She said, I got more than $1,000. I got $1.59 in cash and 2 $500 cats. See, the beauty of it is the kids just don't know it can't be done. A leader today, the kernel of truth is this, that a leader today has to have childlike expectation. Childlike faith. Not childish, but childlike. Saying, I have faith in my own God-given skills and talents and abilities. I have faith in yours. I have faith in my family. I have faith in my team. Because you see, to expect to succeed uplifts everybody. It encourages everyone. In the 60s, late 60s, I trained brain-damaged children. And in those days, I learned a lot about this idea of human potential and human growth. And one of the things that we saw at the institute where I worked is that when a family brought a child in, the child's progress depended upon the expectation of the parents. If the parents had high expectations and faith and would get in and work and help, the children made wonderful progress. But those that came in that didn't have supportive parents or family or friends and had low expectations, the children didn't exceed their own expectations either. And that's a line I learned. I've had it on my bathroom mirror for over 30 years. I have it on the refrigerator. I don't know if you put things on your refrigerator, but I have signs all over it. Let me give you a key, and it goes like this. It says, I will never exceed my own highest expectations. That's the key. Expecting to succeed. As a leader in this day and age, we live in a world that is far too cynical. We don't need any more cynics. We've got enough cynics. The world is hungry for people like you who are absolutely devoted to professionalism, to self-improvement. And you know what you can do when you expect to succeed? You can become the most powerful thing a leader can be, and that's a hope giver. People are just dying to have someone give them some hope and saying, yes, I expect you to do it. You can do it. It'll be better when you try. Even if you don't work it out so well, try again. I'll help you. Being a hope giver, that's a key about expecting to succeed, being flexible. Now, I talk about change, and you hear about it all the time. Everybody talks about it. We should change, we should change, we should change. Let me play the other side of that for a second. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? We should also, as a leader, know what to defend against change. There are some things in this world that are worth defending against change. Our morals, our ethics, our values. Those things that make you, as a human being, an individual, what you are. The things, the values that make the CPCU society so important in the world of insurance. The contribution that you make, those are worth defending, because if we lose that, we lose our very soul of what we are. And I think that in this day and age, in this wonderful 21st century that we live with, filled with so many opportunities, and yes, challenges, but opportunities galore, I think the most powerful question that a leader should ask him or herself is this, and it is, what do I stand for? When you know what you stand for, you talk about fire in the belly. It affects everything you do. It affects how you walk, how you talk, how you dress, who you associate with, who you work with. It can change lives when you know what you stand for. It is the fire in the belly. It is very exciting. And so I challenge you to say to yourself, what do I stand for? You probably already know, but it's a wonderful question to keep asking, because it brings out the biggest us inside of us. It also takes something away from us. When we know what we stand for, it takes away the luxury of irresponsibility, because when we know what we stand for, we can't just stand around anymore, not do something about it. And it's a wonderful thing to do, to make a difference in this world by saying, what do I stand for? Change, change, change. But let me give you the clarion call for change into the 22nd century. And it is going to be this. It is change before you're forced to. It's going to change. And we might as well make the changes ourselves before somebody else makes the changes for us. What's the second F? First was flexible. The second is focused, being absolutely laser beam focused. On what? Well, first of all, is to have a mission that matters. I write about it in the book. It means, what are you excited about? What do you get up early about? What do you stay up late about? A mission that matters. I loved seeing the film clip of President John F. Kennedy. A mission that matters is something that he did, and a mission is something that empowers other people, imbues in them the wish to be bigger and grow better and contribute. And John F. Kennedy stood before the joint houses of Congress in 1960, and he said to the world, by the end of the decade, we will put a man on the moon. And everybody around the world said, yes, we're going to do that. Yes, they can do that. And for the next 15 years, 1 out of every 4 jobs was attached to the space program. And there's a legend about one of the early executives in that space program went down to what was then still called Cape Canaveral, and went down into that little block where they were building the little computers that are so